I'm Russ Abbott, founder of Tattoo Smart. I've been tattooing for over 25 years, and in 2016, I founded Tattoo Smart to empower tattoo artists with digital design tools. In this video, we're diving deep into why your 3D tattoo design experience might not be meeting your expectations, and most importantly, how to fix it. We'll explore the challenges artists face and how to get the best results in Procreate using our line of signature 3D models for Procreate, Model Humans. I'm not going to cover the essential tattoo design workflows for Procreate in this video because I've already covered that in my 8-part tutorial series, Procreate Basics. I recommend every tattoo artist polish up their Procreate skills by checking out the Procreate Basics playlist. This video will be focused on the 3D model tattoo design process in Procreate, which is a totally different type of file, and the app interface even looks a bit different. So assuming you're already used to how Procreate usually works, we can start out by opening a 3D model file, and let's see how the interface is different now. As you can see, the interface has a few additional options tailored specifically for working with 3D models. I'll walk you through the basics of navigating this interface. First, notice how the 3D model is optimized for 4K resolution, ensuring every detail of your design is captured flawlessly. We'll zoom in to see the high level of detail that our models provide, which is crucial for precise tattoo planning. Since our latest update, our model humans are now loading with a skin color already applied. You can see the skin tone in the layers palette here. If you want to change the skin color, you are welcome to explore any color you like from our included skin tone swatch library. Our aim with model humans is to improve the tattoo design experience with our thoughtful approach to product design. It's essential that this work be done by an experienced tattoo artist such as myself, because I can guide the 3D modeler on what is important to tattoo artists. 3D in Procreate is really good and easy to learn, but Procreate hasn't continued to develop the capabilities of 3D in the app in the 2 years since releasing the feature. I would say 3D is probably just a side feature for them and not a priority. So it's good, but it has some quirks. I want to let you in on what we've discovered and how we've learned to navigate those quirks. Over the last couple of years, I've been working hand in hand with our customers to bring their feedback to the development process, identifying areas for improvement both in our products and in the artist workflow. Success in 3D tattoo design is a combination of starting with a high-quality model and then applying the design in the proper way, while solving the inherent challenges of the technology and the Procreate interface. So let's address some common issues tattoo artists face with 3D models, like distorted projections and low resolution. Let's explore the wrong way and the right way to apply your design to a 3D model. First, the wrong way. It's the way that almost everyone tries to do it, and the reason that a lot of artists that tried 3D didn't love the experience the first time. It does work okay on smaller tattoo designs, but it quickly gets weird on larger tattoo designs. I'll show you what I mean. Now, here's the best way to add your artwork. I'll demonstrate how to add artwork from 2D texture mode. If you find that it's hard to tell where your artwork is ending up on the model, you can actually open a preview window that shows you a live preview. Our models come with unparalleled 2D texture maps that ensure accurate placement of your designs. We do this by baking in some shading from the muscles. Now, when you enter 2D texture mode, you can see where your design is going. In our older versions, these 2D textures didn't have the shading in place, and this update made a huge difference for tattoo artists. We always notify our customers when a free update is available, so if you missed this one, definitely log back in at Tattoo Smart and download the latest version of your models. Another development that we made along the way was to begin laying out the 2D textures in a more thoughtful way. As a reminder, the 2D texture is accessible by toggling this button under the 3D menu. Resolution with a 3D model is limited to this 4K space here in the square that the body part flattens into. This is called a 2D texture. All of the pixels in this square are going to be divided up between any of the body parts that are visible on the model. So, if you are working with a full body model human like Norm here, you are going to see that Norm's arms are only taking up a small portion of the available resolution. For this reason, the larger the portion of the body that you are designing for, the lower the resolution that will be available to you on any particular body part. So I don't recommend using a full body character when your focus is on high resolution and clarity. If you want to design an arm sleeve, use an arm sleeve model. To keep it simple, always use the smallest portion of the body that will work for your design. If you're already familiar with how you design tattoos in Procreate, then working with Procreate 3D files isn't too difficult. It just requires us to adapt to a few changes in the interface. When we are doing the real intensive line, shading, and coloring process, we have the advantage of being able to quickly switch back to regular Procreate art files where we are more comfortable. I'm going to show you how I do it so you can see how easy it can be for you to start creating tattoo sleeve, back, leg, and front piece designs that are more ready to adapt to the human body and fit the client without as many surprises and challenges during the stenciling and freehanding process. This workflow is primarily for those that want to expand their work into large-scale tattooing, but it can also be used for smaller and medium-sized tattoo planning. Artists have found that quickly applying a smaller design to a model to showcase the art for a client is a fantastic way to show the client the work in a more relatable way and delight them with a modern tattoo experience. Now I'll guide you through the best 2D to 3D workflow. The key is to import a well-prepared 2D design. Importing the design correctly is crucial to avoiding any distortion. I'll show you the step-by-step process. Choose the appropriate 3D model from your library. I'll be working on a full arm sleeve design for a male client with an average build, so I'll choose this sleeve model. If you're designing from scratch, use a sketching brush to play around with the composition. I urge you to focus on large shapes, flow, and keep it general for now. Once you have a sketch on the model or an idea of the design, switch to 2D texture mode and see how your design looks flattened out. You may find it interesting to see your design in this way. Next, I like to export the 2D version of my design over into a standard Procreate art file. There is a fancy and complicated way to export it, but I usually just fit everything to the screen, turn off the background and skin tone layers, and do a screen grab of my entire iPad screen. This is done by clicking these two buttons at the same time. It saves the image to your camera roll. Now open up a standard Procreate file and choose a file size that is similar to the size you want to print the final design out at when you make a stencil. For an arm sleeve, I might choose 18 inches tall and 10 inches wide. I'll use 300 dpi for the resolution. With that file open, I'll click to add from photos and choose the screen grab of my sketch. I'll scale that up to be as big as I can fit on my canvas. Start a new layer and complete the tattoo design until it's totally rendered and colored. By the way, did I mention I made an 8-episode Procreate Basics course? Go look for that on our channel if you haven't already learned my workflow. You'll definitely pick up some useful tricks. So, here's my design for the full sleeve all done, and now I just need to save it back to my camera roll with no background so that I can place it back on the 3D model. So just turn off the background layers and save it as a PNG file so that transparent background stays empty and not white. Now go back to the 3D model file and open up the 2D texture again. Go ahead and click Add and import the completed artwork from the camera roll. Use the transform tools to position it over the texture map. Try lowering the opacity of the art by tapping on the layer with 2 fingers and then scrubbing with your finger until you can see through the art and use that to help line it up. Toggle off 2D texture mode and see how your design looks. If you end up with a glitch or a seam that you need to touch up, you can go ahead and draw directly on the model in a new layer. Sometimes I like to use the smudge tool and just grab some colors and smear them around over the seam. That's usually the fastest way to touch it up. By following these steps, you ensure a smooth transition from 2D to 3D, maintaining the quality of your artwork. You can always return to the regular Procreate file and export different versions of your work as you make changes and adjustments. Always remember to do your final outline on a separate layer so that you can easily print out a stencil when the time comes. Addressing common problems. Many artists struggle with specific technical issues, such as the model not opening properly or experiencing lag. These issues are often due to file size or older hardware limitations of your specific iPad. Our models are designed to mitigate these problems, but sometimes our customers run into issues that we can't solve. In those cases, we offer a full refund on your purchase price. If this is the case for you, please reach out to us at support@tattoosmart.com and provide your order details such as name, email address, and order number. Let us know specifically what is happening so we can help. Assuming you aren't one of the rare customers whose iPads simply won't open the models, you still might have some frustration with 3D models. I'm going to run through the most common issues that pop up while I'm working in 3D and show you how I solve them. Number 1, color dropping a skin tone doesn't cover the entire model. If you find that your color drops look like this, then you need to adjust the threshold setting of color drop. Just after you complete a drop, you'll notice a tiny pop-up at the top of the screen that says threshold and has a percentage number. By scrubbing left and right with your finger, you should see the percentage number go up and down. For this purpose, you'll want to be sure that the percentage is high enough that the skin tone color drop covers the entire surface of the model. It will probably always work if you set this percentage over 80. Number 2, I can open the 3D model, but when I try to add a few layers, I can only add a few additional layers before I reach the limit. This happens to people who have slightly older iPads sometimes, but an artist at my studio can only add around 5 layers. If this is happening to you, then you probably also wish you could have more layers in a regular Procreate file as well. The best solution here is to get a new iPad. But in the meantime, if you just focus only on sketching while in 3D mode and then use a normal Procreate file for your layer-heavy processes, you should have a better experience. So currently, our Model Humans lineup includes 8 total characters that represent 4 body types in male and female genders. These 8 characters are intended to represent a range that is inclusive of the potentially endless range of actual body types that a tattoo artist encounters in the studio. While these 8 characters were our first to market, we have updated them several times as we discovered new approaches. In early 2024, we released Advanced 3D Body Parts. The Advanced 3D Body Parts set represents the greatest value for both experienced 3D users and first-time users as well. If you already own a few Model Humans characters, I strongly recommend you consider picking up this pack as well, just for the additional options that you will have. Remember my points about resolution and how important it is to use the smallest body part available for your design. Sharing your work. Procreate allows you to export a set of animation turnarounds of your 3D model designs, which can be a cool way to share your work with clients or on social media posts. You can also record a screen capture video on your iPad, so that you have more control over the timing and which parts of the model are displayed. Finally, you can even view your 3D model in AR mode, which projects it into the room. At first, it will probably be tiny on the floor or tabletop, but if you get closer to it with your iPad, you can scale it up until it is as large as real life and walk around it. By following these tips and using our advanced 3D models, you can significantly improve your 3D tattoo design experience. Remember, the key to success is not just in the tools you use, but also in how you use them. Explore, experiment, and let your creativity flow. Most importantly, Believe in your own ability to solve problems with your creativity. So much about tattooing is problem solving, and you wouldn't be successful in this career without your ingenuity. If you need help, we are here to support you. Leave a comment below the video or email us at support@tattoosmart.com. Thanks for watching and happy designing.